Angels and spirit guides, show me no mercy, but give me the truth alone. Shambhala. There are many divinities in creation. Reality is your own. Cat hair is a thing. Having beards is also another thing. Things require time to assess and understand. So even though I get cat hair in my mouth, I still got a cat. Who knows about the future? We don't know the future, but we know energies. So, let me get centered here. I got a couple decks here. Here were the cards in the bottom of the Thoth deck and the Ryder Waite. Alright, you get the picture. The bottom of this one, I mean, does it get saucy like this or what? On the split here, the moon on water, 18.9. The Martian equation of Taurus, the dynamics of the equinox, of the air, earth, and water. So the earth has to take on the masculine energy for the moon. That's why the moon's exalted in Taurus. So we got birds here, we got this moon, we got these trees. It looks like autumn, or maybe winter for a warmer climate, I don't know. In any case, it is interesting contrast and balance here. So that was on the split of this Two of Cups. Looks like some kind of druidic thing. I'm just gonna that's an underlying energy. Take it however it resonates. This is just an energy reading, and if it resonates, then you got some words for feelings. Where do you go with that? I'm not going to take all this, but the Woodward Libra, and at the bottom, the moon again, Taurus. So it's the transformation of your perspectives into a balanced equation of mind, body, for proper spirit application. See, the Woodward, he's holding command of this bestial nature, this animalistic tendency, this thing that runs off primal circuitry. There's a majesty to it. It's a very refined expression of that old feline energy, but it is about as domesticated as it can get. And your experience, your wisdom, your progress shows you the value of having obtained that within yourself. we're going to go with it because it's too good. Alright, so this is the green man, the emperor here. The green man, the emperor, commands all the elements. That's the spirit of nature. It is the creative flow. When you feel in tune with what you're doing because it's in resonance with real value in existence, then you tap into this energy and you begin to stew up some kind of spirit. Oh wow, the shaman here. Shaman is the equivalent of the magician in Ryder, Waite. Now the shaman here, he's adorned with some jewelry and stuff, but that's not what he's about. He's an elementalist. See where his foot is? He's the fifth element. It's the spirit endowed through us, the gift of the divine. And it takes some ugly times sometimes, untamed wild world, in order to get in touch with balance within yourself to bring the Woodward out. Because when you do that, then you tap into all your resources and your energy is directed in a way that's magical, beneficial to all expression, to nature. Which one is this? The 4? No, 9? Oh, 7. 7 of arrows. Insecurity, you know. In life, when we learn the hard way a lot of times. And people make it that way because they don't know any other way. Sometimes the world can be harsh, especially if you're in a colder city, a place where there's more business, there's more people just trying to make their way in life. So you learn the language, and it puts these near misses in you, and some hit you. And see, she has 3 in her chest there. The broken heart. 4 of arrows, though, is healing. So when you got this 7 of arrows, you are healing through the broken heart, and the insecurities are reaching for 8. So the spirit is being tempered so that strength can be born. And the strength is what gives you the ability to get out of the 8 of Swords. And it progresses to 9, 10, Ace. I think we're back to the beginning. Yeah, the Woodward. So the Wounded Warrior, this is the Libra energy. You know, you've got the balance of the intellect up in the sky. You've had to desensitize your emotions at times so that you could function in life, and it gave you ability to see higher, different perspectives. But you know that deep within you, you carry this cup, this emotion, and it's a valuable commodity when you're out in the wild. It is life. So you carry your spirit, and you can either offer the cup or the rod, and you know how to balance that power. And that's represented in the cat, the lynx, the wildcat. And the tree is ablazing with spirit between blue skies. Kind of interesting. So this is a good prelude. Holy crap, we're 10 minutes in. Alright, I'm gonna do the Ryder Waite deck. I only use these for me, so now I'm going to start using them here and we'll see if they change. That's a card for me. Queen of Swords. You take it as it comes, the logic flows, then it's good to go. Sometimes if you come across stronger than a page, then you set a reaction on someone. You set a trigger, step in a trap, a loop. So sometimes you just got to be observant. It's learning the subtleties of the emotional flows through the mind to bring you the balance. Basically, this is like the Libra card. It's the Minor Arcana's version. To me, anyway. But, I mean, who am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube. She's got the balanced mind. She's been wounded and she understands how to overcome the wounds and what it can do to people. So she's careful not to continue the flow of that type of wound, the trauma. So she's willing to cut off ties if need be. But her hand is open. She's always offering balance, reciprocity for whomever is on the path within themselves. This was on the split here. Many ways to see it, there's 12 houses. And I'm just using the astrology as a loose indicator of dynamics so that you can assess the energies through those dynamics. If you learn astrology or watch this, then you're going to learn astrology. So the Lovers, I'm going to read it astrologically here. Psyche, through the psyche. I'm a Gemini moon. I've connected with many Gemini suns in life. They always brought me closer to myself. I'm a Scorpio ascendant. 12th house to Scorpio's Libra, which is the house of relations. It's the things you learn through the mind, through the Mercury, through the communications, through the reflections, through the vibrations and contrast, that gray zone of Libra. But the gray zone is only when you're trapped in the mind, when you are married to the earth and you know what you produce here in the background, the wisdom of the feminine and the creative of the masculine. Then mountains are made, rivers are formed, new life, new world is created. So this is an alchemical wedding with life through the self, knowing that reciprocity is promised to those who find the kingdom of heaven within themselves. And it isn't something maybe you can gain it right away, maybe you already got it, but when it comes, it comes. There's many ways to grow tomatoes here. Alright, and then at the bottom we had the Queen of Pentacles. She nurtures what she creates. She knows the value. And because she's learned the value, she's been able to cultivate it in herself. And this is the Minor Arcana's version of the Empress. The spirit is being nurtured into full manifestation through learning value, understanding what it takes to sit on the throne, having gone through a lot of the trials and tribulations of the mountain valleys and peaks behind her. She nurtures and creates. When she's grounded and at peace within herself, all the surroundings are peaceful. So this is where families are formed. This is where rivers are born. Right here. The Taurus card. Alright, now I'm keeping this page here. That was just like a undercurrent energy. It was a split show. So now let's see where this page is. It's in an approach. I'd never thought I'd be doing this, but here I am. I'm like the David Lee Roth of Taro. Did you know when he quit Van Halen, he became a paramedic in New York. He was reaching for the depths of the emotional currents. And he's a man that lives life and feels it and learns through that. And that's part of this energy right here, this cultivation. You know, you can stop to take a break, but there's always work. There's always something to be done. It's a cultivation process, you know. It doesn't mean that you gotta be down on it like this guy. You know, when you're settled in your emotions, you know why you're putting in the effort. Then you can walk away from old perceptions. 8 of Cups here. One of my only astrology mentors was an 8 of Cups, Pisces Sun. Mercury opposing Neptune. Mercury and Pisces opposing Neptune in Virgo. Libra point Moon. 5-degree Scorpio ascendant, just like me, and he had Mars conjunct my DC, my Mercury, my Chiron. So he was handing down lineage to me in energy. And he was in the process of doing this, but he was so tied up in the details of life at the most occult, precise levels. It was, it would scare most people. But he was a good man, had a good heart, a lot of knowledge, interesting energy. And I don't know where to go with that. When I said good heart, my hand jumped, so I guess maybe I didn't know him as well as I thought. Alright, well, this ain't about Joe, but I know this energy, so you're transforming. Because we see a progression here, union from the alchemical undercurrents. The alchemical wedding of the self. Your emotions are stable. You're in command. You are in awareness of the currents in life. And you can choose when you want. And that is the power of belief, the square to Sag from Pisces. I guess I'm not called to place every card here, but here we go. We jump straight from the page to the 8 of Swords. Alright, the 8 of Swords. She's standing in that muddy earth. It's a mix. It's she's been soaked. She's been sitting there in the waves and in the rain. But we see that the waves settled, the rain passed. She's petrified by the experience, the onslaught of life, which has left its swords, its sharp expressions all around her. And she finds that these expressions exist within herself, and so she finds ways in the world from which she can manifest them, bring them to life through loops and those mental things which lead us into those sleepless nights. Because we don't want to go through that again. The thing is, though, when you go through that, and we all go through these circuits many times in life, when we go through the Nine of Swords, we are getting to the bottom of something. That's where Scorpio and second decan of Gemini combine. So if you have anything in the second decan of Scorpio and in Gemini, you are transforming deep emotional circuitry, likely from your ancestors, but I mean, of course, we all got some of that within our stories too. But here, I mean, she knows where she's been and she could feel the change. Now it's just allowing the intuition to take hold, and there's some on the ground here. She doesn't realize that there's something she can feel and follow out of the swords, this little puddle thing. You got to find the flow of the river, and sometimes you got to create it, and that's what we're learning. This is why Aquarius is so valued for change and transformation. So if you're going through an 8th or an Aquarius or 11th house profection, or you've got progressed chart there, then this could be dynamic for you. I'm going to leave that one. Shuffle some more here. I like the tactile stuff. I've got Mercury and Taurus on my DC, so touching things is how I learn a lot of stuff. So school isn't exactly my strong suit. But if I'm interested in something and there's application and value in it, then I learn it. Or a reason. I think we can all be like that when we're following our natural spirit, our expression. We got the sun here. Look at this naked little hooligan riding a white horse. Just throwing his red towel off like it's nothing. Does this kid know there are people present? He doesn't care because he has the power of creativity, flow. He is not constrained by the red tide, the fear that binds most. He's a new expression, pure bliss. There's 4, foundation of sunflowers in the background. And with the sun you got 5 spheres, and then with the kid's head you got 6. So this is like a Venusian undercurrent for Venus shadow right now in Leo. But the sun, I mean, that's pretty dang awesome. You know, you're leaving this, you nudged the shadow within, and you're finding it through life because you've been through stuff, and here you go. You can feel the weather changed. You feel there's a puddle in your foot, and then to the left there isn't. And so you're like, well, there's probably not a sword in the emotions. There's no swords in the puddles. They're Excaliburs. Those are unmovable swords. So I got to go into these emotions and just follow it, flow, and then the sun rises, and you realize your current is towards your sun, your happiness, that which feeds your spirit, brings you to form, so that this work and this effort has been recognized, at least through yourself. That's the expression, the manifestation of the King of Cups here. Maybe you've been through that, or you're going through that, and that's why you're going to embody this energy. You're going to feel these flows, this archetypical expression of alchemical transmutation. Alright, and just, my lord, we're going to keep going with this thing because it's going somewhere. Alright, look at this. We got the Twin Flame card, guy. 11, 6. I've watched too much tarot to know this stuff, but I learned that way. It's helped give me language for astrological dynamics, and that's helped me to understand these cards in the process, alchemical sense. So now I'm just going to flow with it and see what comes out. Then I can mix my astrology in with this stuff. And then maybe it has some merit. Because no one's watching my stuff anyway, so I know people watch this. And for good reason. We're possessed by a spirit. We're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Alright, so we got this firm foundation when you follow the spirit within yourself. Through the efforts you have been dealt and put into life. Then you got, from foundation, you can offer your spirit to life so that it can help you form something. And what do we got next? Well, the Queen of Pentacles. Whew! The Two of Wands. We got this. This man's holding that rod. He's got the knowledge in the left hand, the wisdom hand, the rod in the right. That's the masculine, the yang. I believe, unless I'm just... No. I'm possessed by the technology. It's too masculine. It's on the reverse thing. Alright, so I'm Uranus. That's why that happens. But from that foundation, you work towards creation and you offer the world to your vision. And then you find the nurturance of the Queen of Pentacles, the pre-empress energy that flows from the mountaintops. She knows the valleys and the peaks and all that stuff, but she's been tempered through the caves in those mountains. The wisdom in it, it's an unfoldment through life. It's not something you sit down and try and figure out. It's something that comes to you as you find the value of the Queen of Pentacles through this Nine of Pentacles, where it's you're developing the self-value. You're holding your heart, your vision in your hand, and you're cultivating what it takes to get to that vision. The 9, it's a Martian expression of a Venusian thing. So it's the yang of yin. Alright, we're going to do a couple more. Wheel of Fortune, bam. That's how you get into that flow in life. And that's how you know. You just feel there's this wind blowing and you got to run into it. He's running into the wind. I mean, this dude... Because you know your flow. You've transformed, you've taken on a new expression, and you have released through transformation. Awareness, we learn to release. Alright, I can't stop. What the hell, alright, that's a sign. Temperance is all you need to know. The alchemical wedding of life. So just try to let it flow. Thanks for watching, listen, and being. I'm just going to do a split real quick. Take it as you will. This is the Kali deck. Kali Yantra number 12. 1, 2. Those are the Jupiter fingers. That's a mala bead. She's got some kind of ring on her Jupiter left hand. So, and then there's those bracelets, and there's the yantra. I don't know what the mandala is. One of the chakras, I believe, but maybe you know. Alright, take it as it feels. And this is the part on the split here in the Thoth deck. Princess of Discs. The initial stages of the night. The impetus is in the woods. It's in the process. Getting on the horse. Alright. That's it. I got a laptop. I'm going to install OBS and my Astro software here. I might need to upgrade the RAM. I may need to get the monitor looked at. It was open box, not refurbished, but people don't know how to use the lids, so they're a little rough. Alright, so the sun is in 2 degrees Cancer trine, north node of Chiron. From the core value wounds we find released through expression in Leo, the first square felt by Scorpio, where the spirit is tamed, it is tempered, it is humbled, so that the depths of Scorpio can be understood in expression, in the experiences of life. I'm Scorpio ascendant with the Saturn-Uranus square from Leo to Scorpio on my AC MC. So my vision was being cultivated through old spirit that I need to transform for lineage, for ancestral wisdom to be born. Expressed. There needs to be a reason. But we nature the nurture, it's within us. Otherwise we wouldn't be faced with it. So we work through that and we cultivate those things and we change them. Some people call it healing, other people call it forgiveness, some release, some oblivion, the apocalypse. They never face it. In any case, we go through phases and things, and following Cancer at this time, feeling into your emotional flow, what feels right with you, what brings you to a higher expression of yourself, is the way to go. Now, if you're like me, I've got 6th house Aries. I've got some physical things going on that are directing me. I've got a spirit, but I'm finding menial, stupid ways in which to bring it to form. I need to create something. So I'm doing this now. I'm going to try and do more of these. But that's an emotional flow. It's 9th house. Scorpios don't necessarily like to be seen unless they've got a lot of power placements that give them that kind of expression, that more airy expression, or they embody the repression more. But I have Uranus on the ascendant and I don't like statics. But people can't relate with that. The wounds within them arise because they're evident through me. That's what I bring out of people. Specific people more than others. But in those processes, that's how I learn. It's the Gemini thing. transformation through relation, that's information, which is used to form beliefs through perception, in Scorpio to Sag. That's where Ophiuchus is born. That first decan into early mid-second decan. That's under the feet of Ophiuchus, the great healer. That's the first square into Pisces. So your belief is what pulls in the dream, in a way. But you got to work with that square. You can't let it be the one that impresses upon you. I mean, we do for much of life, and then we wake and we move into it, knowing the outcomes is in the application. And if you're not settled on an outcome, then you are wide open to finding your way. And the blessing is that it's hard to settle on outcomes because everything is tied to the old ways, which are changing and they're forcing us out. You conform or you are exiled, and that's what we need to find ourselves. That's what we need to find the new places on earth, the new earth. And what is that? That's where people are going to end up cohabiting. But you got to find it within yourself first. You're tuned to a specific expression in life. If that expression brings you into the heart of the city, that's where you go. If it brings you to the heart of the country, that's where you go. If it brings you to a boat in the middle of the ocean, that's where you go. You got to find what is the most simple connection to life. That's where you find the emotional currents are more pure. And it leads to yourself. You know, that's how Venus can follow the river of Cancer through the desert of Leo with that Chiron square in Aries. She's just following the roses because they grow on the banks of the river. So where the river has dried up, new springs flow further down. Eventually there is a convergence, a confluence of energies, and you find faster flow. But this is where the strength of Leo is cultivated in life, and it's the putting the value to expression and trying to find the best, most fun, most optimal way to do that. If you can get just into the concept of that as a Cancer sun expression, you know, it's all about the emotions, then you are working the transformation of Aquarius. You're part of the creative. Congratulations, you can bring heaven to earth in Virgo. So just focus on the river, finding the flow within yourself. The world, the energies will match you later. Results is process. Or results are process? I don't know. I keep looking up here, but the camera's down here. I've got this thing flipped. That's why there's no rear-facing camera. It's one of those flip-top things. All right. Let's just talk quickly Capricorn because it's the polarity of Cancer. It's outcome, essentially. You know, you step, you move, you flow, you get pulled, you get pushed, there's result. And Capricorn can be meticulously practical for application, for optimal application. The eye for the finer things, the ability to bring it to creation. Saturn is home and Capricorn, Mars is exalted. Capricorn is earthy, so the hands are activated. So if you've got combination of Capricorn and other earth signs, you usually got pretty creative tendencies and abilities. Your skills are on point, especially if you got Mercury there. I digress though. Pluto just ingressed back into Capricorn, 29 degrees, the anaretic degree, heading back to the United States of America's Pluto return, the last tap. We could call this whole thing that discussion. This is it, this is it for life right now. People have tapped a few times, one more and it's over. And it's here. It's reminding us to go into what it is we find of value, to bring that forward rather than to take the monolith back in. As the crumbling falls, you don't want to be under that. How do you separate? How do you build new? How do you find the lands of the new river so that new foundation can flow? The kingdom of heaven first within, and then you bring it to flow. By following the passion, the thing that heals your emotions through what feels right. I don't know, I guess I keep saying the same thing over and over, maybe. It's just, to me, it feels like the alchemical equation to life is in dynamics. And you don't have to learn all of them, you just got to learn the basics. Life is flow, it's creativity, you get into that, and that's where you go. Alright, thanks for watching.